82 confirmed cases of coronavirus in India. 68-year-old female from Delhi dies due to comorbidity. She had also tested positive for COVID-19. Bus and train services suspended on Indo-Bangladesh border. Death toll due to coronavirus crosses 5,000. WHO terms a tragic milestone. Coronavirus infections now spread in 123 countries. Areas or territories with more than 136,000 confirmed cases. WHO says Europe has now become epicenter of the pandemic. World continues to battle coronavirus. US and Spain declare national emergency. European Union calls for unified action in Italy. Deaths in a day jumped by 25% to 1,266. Denmark passes law to randomly check people till March 2021. COVID-19 hit sporting events around the world. England's Premier League suspended. All UEFA matches of next week postponed. Players' Championship and Australian Grand Prix also called off. BCCI suspends IPL till 15th of April. Remaining 2 matches of India-South Africa series cancelled. Tokyo Olympics may also come under cloud. US President Donald Trump remembers his visit to India, says he had a great time in India and it was incredible 2 days. Calls Prime Minister Modi a great friend. Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukmayana. Top story. The total number of confirmed cases of novel coronavirus in the country is now 82, which includes 3 patients in Kerala who recovered from the illness and went home. 7 patients admitted at Delhi's Safdarjung Hospital have also been discharged. Meanwhile, a 68-year-old female from West Delhi died on Friday due to comorbidity, diabetes and hypertension. She had also tested positive for COVID-19. The woman came in contact with her son, who is the 5th case of coronavirus in Delhi, with a travel history to Switzerland and Italy between February 5th and 22nd. Meanwhile, the 112 evacuees brought in from China's Wuhan have tested negative for coronavirus at the end of the 14-day quarantine period at the ITBP facility in Delhi. They also included 36 evacuees from 7 foreign countries, and all were sent home after being certified coronavirus-free. And India on Friday announced the suspension of cross-border passenger bus and train services with Bangladesh till the 15th of April. The closure of 18 immigration checkposts announced with 4 neighboring countries, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan and Myanmar, as part of measures to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Only selective checkposts will remain open. The government is taking more steps to bring back Indians from coronavirus-affected Iran and Italy who have tested negative for the virus, including the operation of at least 3 flights to these countries over the weekend. Cross-border passenger bus and train services to Bangladesh will be suspended from March 15th to April 15th, though freight train services will continue. Border markets along the Bangladeshi frontier in northeastern states will be suspended till further orders. And amid the coronavirus scare, the Indian Council of Medical Research on Friday said that the government, along with states, union territories and other concerned agencies, have taken several preemptive, timely and proactive measures for prevention, containment and management of COVID-19.
The Ministry of Health has been working. The Government of India, right from the Prime Minister's level, has taken a meeting. The Minister has been taking regular meetings and press briefings as well. The Cabinet Secretary has been working with us, with all the relevant inter-ministerial group on a war room kind of a meeting which is being done on a daily basis at his office, and we have been trying to work out several mechanisms together. The institutions and the ministries that have been involved, I may miss out some, so please. So Ministry of Health is leading it. Then we have the Ministry of Civil Aviation, Ministry of Information Broadcasting, we have Ministry of External Affairs, DGAFMS, the Chief of Defence Staff, the Cabinet Secretary doing it on a regular basis.
Briefing the media in New Delhi, ICMR DG Professor Balram Bhargava said that ICMR has issued guidelines for COVID-19 testing in the country, adding 65 pan-India laboratories are currently testing for the virus.
We were asked and requested, and we were instrumental through our NIV Pune, the BSL-4 lab, and the Viral Research Diagnostic Laboratory Network to carry out the testings for these patients. We've issued guidelines for testing clearly, and they are very simple. They have come out in the newspapers. We have mentioned the list of the labs that are already testing, and we are scaling them up. They have now, we have about 65 laboratories pan-India which are testing for this disease. We have another 35, 40 labs which are acting as collection centers at the moment, but we will scale them up. We will also include, just before we speak, we had a meeting to discuss which more labs could be plugged in. So we've worked with the government institutions, whether it be CSIR, DBT, or medical colleges, and trying to rope those labs also in for testing. What ICMR is doing in terms of quick diagnostic, rapid diagnostics, we have good news that India has been the 5th country in the world to have isolated the virus, and we have now the virus available with us, and that can help us develop more rapid diagnostic kits and could pave the way for vaccine development in future, which is still far away, and every country is working towards that, and we would also have partnered with some and are working in that direction.
And joining us now is our correspondent Meghna Dev to tell us more about the measures that the government is taking. Meghna, a very good morning to you. As the number of confirmed cases touches 82, the government continues to step up efforts, more and more efforts added. Since yesterday, more measures have been taken. Take us through them.
Absolutely, Rukma. Very good morning to you too. And what is good is that this country, India, is actually, steadfasting and is able to control, being as large as this size, is able to control coronavirus and is able to contain it because of the preemptive and precautionary measures that have been already taken and that had been already taken before the outbreak of the virus in the country. Also, what is important is when we see that the forces have also come forward and are setting up quarantine facilities. We got to know that Western Naval Command has set up a quarantine facility in Ghatkopar in Mumbai. That is a 100-bed quarantine facility, and 44 passengers are currently there quarantined. What is also important is that ICMR has got a big breakthrough of isolating the virus and becomes the 5th country in the world. India becomes the 5th country in the world to isolate the virus. So isolation also means that there can now be many tests conducted, and now we can actually produce more rapid diagnostic kits. Rapid diagnostic kits are extremely important because we actually lose out on time for diagnosis when we don't have rapid diagnostic kits. And what is also important is this virus, it is said that it's believed by virologists that this virus has a bigger genome. So, and the researchers, virologists and scientists are actually, still doing research on how much of surface time does this virus have. And it also depends on the morbidity, it also depends on the temperature. So, a lot of research is also going on for the virus. And when we also know that the Prime Minister has asked for collective effort from SAARC countries, it becomes very important that the SAARC countries come together and actually exercise a collective strategy and do a collective strategic effort to actually combat and contain this virus and the spread of this virus. And India has been successfully doing it till now. Also, India, at a very right time, India has taken the step of bringing masks and the 2-ply, 3-ply surgical mask and N95 mask and hand sanitizer under the Essential Commodities Act, so that now states get the autonomy to actually, actually regulate the production, the quality, and also the pricing, because when we know that there is some surge in the demand of some commodity, definitely it becomes the pricing, the black marketing and the exorbitant pricing of this of the commodity starts. So just before the market actually has started, there were some reports also that the black marketing might be started and all of this. So the government has been proactive in this sector as well, and has actually invoked the masks and hand sanitizers under the Essential Commodities Act. And also when we saw the Legal Metrology Act also defines that the MRP, the essential commodities the masks and hand sanitizers be sold on MRP or under MRP. So these things are very essential, because currently when we know that there are some viruses that are slow to be spread by air and are quick when spread by contact. So contact tracing is also being done, and it is also, the onus is also on the people and not only on the government or not only on the institutions. The onus is also on the people to actually sanitize themselves and keep personal hygiene, because when the government is also doing contact tracing of the people who were in contact with the patients who have already been tested positive for COVID-19. So this also becomes very important on that front. And also India is actually setting up more labs. Currently we have 64 labs where testing can go on for obviously COVID-19, and also there are a number of collection centers set up, and the ICMR and the ministry is also taking more and more institutions, government institutions, to actually come in and become collection centers or become testing centers. So that is also very important. So all these things are taking place just to actually control the spread of the virus. And also there are a lot of research. WHO has also told that India has been really doing a commendable job, and there is a coordination between the states and the center, and regular reports go from the states to the center, and center is providing all possible assistance to the states. And we have already seen that travel restrictions, put suspension of visas, quarantine facilities, self-quarantine, all these things also creating awareness, and all these steps have been taken by the government. So it becomes essential on this front that not only the government but people also start doing it from self-awareness. And also there is a training of trainers that is also happening. WHO has also taken this effort to actually train trainers to go to smallest of districts and spread the awareness regarding this virus. So all these things are taking place to actually contain the virus. And what becomes important here is also that when now the cases, and there are people also who have been discharged. So all these things, when in this scenario, preventive measures and curative measures, all both things going hand in hand, and Prime Minister also asking the SAARC countries to come together for a collective effort, will definitely reap some better results in the future.
Right, well, that's a very comprehensive overview. You've included all points. Thank you so much, Meghna, for joining us there with those updates. And I'm moving on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday proposed a formulation of a joint strategy by SAARC nations to fight coronavirus, with member states such as Nepal and Sri Lanka promptly hailing the idea of unitedly taking on the pandemic. The initiative has evoked a prompt and favorable response from Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives and Sri Lanka, whose leaders have welcomed the idea. Here's our report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading the charge in tackling COVID-19 in South Asia. These tweets this morning set the ball rolling. The Prime Minister said, "Our planet is battling COVID-19 novel coronavirus. At various levels, governments and people are trying their best to combat it. South Asia, which is home to a significant number of the global population, should leave no stone unturned to ensure our people are healthy. I would like to propose that the leadership of SAARC nations chalk out a strong strategy to fight coronavirus. We could discuss via video conferencing ways to keep our citizens healthy. Together, we can set an example to the world and contribute to a healthier planet." The response was prompt. Prime Minister of Bhutan was the first off the block among the SAARC leaders to hail Prime Minister Modi's leadership. Replying to PM Modi's tweets, he said, "This is what we call leadership. As members of this region, we must come together in such times. Smaller economies are harder hit, so we must coordinate. With your leadership, I have no doubt we will see immediate and impactful outcome. Looking forward to the video conference." And within minutes, President of Sri Lanka thanked Prime Minister Modi on Twitter, expressing readiness to join the discussion. Gotabaya offered to share learnings and best practices and to learn from other SAARC members. He also made a call to unite in solidarity during these trying times to keep everyone safe. President of India's maritime neighbour, Maldives, Ibrahim Mohammed Soleh, also thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi, welcoming his proposal for collective efforts to tackle COVID-19. Nepalese Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli also welcomed the idea advanced by Prime Minister Modi that proposes chalking out a strong strategy by the leadership of the SAARC nations to fight coronavirus. He also expressed the willingness of his government to work closely with SAARC member states to protect our citizens from this deadly disease. With this, 4 out of the 8 SAARC member nations are on board in this novel effort to tackle COVID-19. Meanwhile, India has announced that it will extend immediate humanitarian assistance to Maldives to tackle the island nation's COVID-19 situation. In the wake of the COVID-19 outbreak in Wuhan, the Indian government has evacuated and quarantined 9 Maldivians residing in the city. Citizens of Nepal, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh have also been brought back by India. On Thursday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached out to the nation to say no to panic and to say yes to precautions. On Wednesday, he discussed the COVID-19 situation with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and UK PM Boris Johnson. COVID-2019 challenge is a global one. Prime Minister Modi put into action the ancient philosophy of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam and neighbourhood first policy in dealing with this clear and present danger. DD India.
The Afghan government has also strongly welcomed the proposal of Prime Minister Modi. In a tweet, the Afghan president's spokesperson, Sadiq Siddiqui, expressed Afghanistan's readiness of the other SAARC members to work together, devising a unified strategy to fight coronavirus in the region. Bangladesh also agreed with the proposal of the Prime Minister to adopt a strong strategy by SAARC nations to fight coronavirus. In a tweet, Bangladesh State Minister for Foreign Affairs Mohammad Shahriar Alam also said that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had welcomed the proposal of the Indian Prime Minister and looked forward to a constructive dialogue with South Asian leaders at this testing time for the region and the world. The World Health Organization has said that Europe was now the epicenter for global coronavirus and warned it was impossible to know when the outbreak would peak. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus in a press conference said the continent had now more reported cases and deaths than the rest of the world combined, apart from China. The virus, which first surfaced in China in December, has now killed more than 5,000 people, with cases around the world topping 1,34,000. Tedros said the deaths passing the 5,000 mark was a tragic milestone.
More than 132,000 cases of COVID-19 have now been reported to WHO from 123 countries and territories. 5,000 people have lost their lives, a tragic milestone. Europe has now become the epicenter of the pandemic.
Meanwhile, the world continues to battle the scourge. US President Donald Trump announced a national state of emergency, freeing up to $50 billion in federal funds for the battle against the fast-spreading pandemic. He called on all US states to set up emergency operations centers and said the government was accelerating testing amid criticism about the lack of sufficient test kits nationwide.
To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Two very big words. The action I am taking will open up access to up to $50 billion of very important and a large amount of money for states and territories and localities in our shared fight against this disease. In furtherance of the order, I'm urging every state to set up emergency operation centers effective immediately. You're going to be hearing from some of the largest companies and greatest retailers and medical companies in the world. They're standing right behind me and inside of me. I'm also asking every hospital in this country to activate its emergency preparedness plan so that they can meet the needs of Americans everywhere. The hospitals are very engaged. New York and various other places are also very engaged. I just spoke with Governor Cuomo. We had a very good conversation, and we're working very strongly with many states, including New York.
US President remembered his visit to India. He termed the Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a great friend, replying to a question on India's borders, which have been closed till April 15 due to the coronavirus outbreak and due to which a lot of small businesses are losing out. The US President said that he would extend help to India during this time.
Well, on small businesses, the Small Business Administration is now stacked with money to help them, and we're going to make the money readily available if they need it, small businesses. We had a great time in India. It was an incredible 2 days, and he's a great friend of mine, and he's a friend of his people, because he was greeted incredibly warmly, as was I, in that stadium. It was an incredible event, and I loved being with him, so just say hello to him. But we talked about everything. We talked about far more than just borders.
And as the dreaded coronavirus continues to spread across the world, countries have geared up, putting in place stiff measures to contain its spread. Italy's total shutdown enters the 4th day today. The death toll from the virus in the country has jumped in the last 24 hours by 250 to 1,266. Italy's Civil Protection Agency has said the 25% hike is the largest rise in absolute terms since the start of the COVID-19 outbreak. Denmark announced on Friday it would shut its borders to most foreign visitors for a month from Saturday, in a move unprecedented in peacetime as part of efforts to halt the spread of coronavirus. All tourists and foreigners without any valid reason to come to Denmark will not be allowed to enter. Spain has meanwhile declared a 15-day state of emergency from today. Some regions' shops have already been shut, and church authorities have cancelled at least 2 Easter parades. And back home, former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has condemned the attack on BJP leader Jyotiraditya Scindia, saying that the law and order situation has totally collapsed in the state. Chauhan appealed to police and administration to take swift action against those responsible for the attack.
मध्य प्रदेश में कानून और व्यवस्था की स्थिति पूरी तरह से समाप्त हो गई है। जैसे अराजकता का राज है। आम आदमी की बात छोड़ दीजिए, पूर्व केंद्रीय मंत्री, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेता, राज्यसभा के बीजेपी के उम्मीदवार श्रीमान ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया के ऊपर जानलेवा हमला करने का प्रयास किया गया। उनकी गाड़ी रोकने की कोशिश की, पत्थर बरसाए गए, गाड़ी के पास आके लोग गाड़ी पर चढ़ने का और रोकने का प्रयास करने लगे।
And joining us with more details is our correspondent Aditya Srivastav from Bhopal. Aditya, what details can you give us about this attack? We believe that Jyotiraditya Scindia's vehicle was attacked in Bhopal.
बिल्कुल रुकमा, कल जब ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया भोपाल से दिल्ली जा रहे थे और उस रास्ते में कुछ कांग्रेस कार्यकर्ताओं उनको काफिले को रोकना चाहा, काले झंडे दिखाना चाहा, लेकिन ये एक काफिला थोड़ी देर के लिए डिस्टर्ब जरूर हुआ, लेकिन उसके बाद जो प्रतिक्रिया निकलकर सामने आई है वो बीजेपी ने इसकी निंदा की है और कहा है कि ये एक बड़े नेता पर, भारतीय जनता पार्टी पर हमला है जो संवैधानिक तौर पर ठीक नहीं है। और जब से ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया भोपाल में थे, देखा जाए तो तब से ही लगातार अगर शहर में जिस तरीके से बैनर पोस्टर लगाए जा रहे थे और उसको भी पीछे से प्रशासन द्वारा हटाने की प्रक्रिया चल रही थी, जगह जगह पर उनका विरोध करना शुरू किया, तो बीजेपी ने यही कहा है कि ये संवैधानिक तौर पर ठीक नहीं है और एक स्वस्थ लोकतंत्र के लिए बिल्कुल भी ठीक नहीं है। और अगर बात करें रुकमा, अगर आज के डेवलपमेंट की तो those MLAs who are in Bengaluru and who tendered the resignation to Vidhan Sabha Adhyaksh, after the if take any decision, Vidhan Sabha Speaker Speaker said the Vidhan Sabha Speaker wants presence of those MLA in Vidhan Sabha. That's why he was also waited yesterday in Vidhan Sabha, but they were not come. Today itself, Vidhan Sabha Speaker will wait in Vidhan Sabha. If they will not come in Vidhan Sabha, then after what will action take against them? What is the action against the MLA? It all depends on Vidhan Sabha Speaker. It all depends on a constitutional process. But yes, 22 MLAs who are in Bengaluru, Vidhan Sabha Speaker today itself also wait in Vidhan Sabha.
Right, well, Aditya, thank you very much for joining us there and for those updates. And I'm moving on to other news stories. Para swimmer Satyendra Singh Lohia, who swam across the Catalina Channel on Friday, called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. After the meeting, the Prime Minister in a tweet said, met the remarkable Satyendra 91697923, who is an outstanding para swimmer. He has won several laurels and his life journey can motivate many. Sometime back, he swam across the Catalina Channel. He also extended best wishes to the bright athlete. Divyang Satyendra Singh Lohia from Madhya Pradesh has become the first Asian swimmer to cross the Catalina Channel of America. Satyendra holds the Asian record of crossing both the English and Catalina channels. The Indian contingent, which took to freezing waters of the channel, covered the distance of 36 kilometers in 10 hours 59 minutes. In March 2019, Satyendra crossed the English Channel in 12 hours 26 minutes and subsequently entered the Limca Book of Records with his effort. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of the news. News and updates continue on DD News and DD India. Namaskar.